Welcome everyone. We will wait for a minute as everyone joins us.
Birthday hello, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. That's my mother, by the way. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So all of you are muted at this time. At the end of the call, we will unmute everyone. If you would like to share the wish, thank you so much. Okay, so we are getting started. Again, we'll get done with the webinar, and towards the end, I'll open the, yes, okay, I was trying to share that. Okay, so we are getting started. We have lots to cover in this 90 minutes. So the initial 30 minutes is going to be the presentation. I'm trying to, when I started creating the presentation, by the way, it became a lot of slides. So I'm trying to compress as much as possible and get it done in 30 minutes. And then we will be moving on with healing the past prime events. So I'm gonna tell you what it means, and then moving from there to changing the past, and then the 15-minute silent mantra meditation. And from there, we are gonna go with manifestation process that you all have sent me about manifesting your dream life. All right, so before I get started with what Bliss Consciousness is, again, as most of you would also know, I'm also launching this new modality called Bliss Consciousness, which was absolutely not in my plan. It just happened in the past 2 weeks that I was divinely guided to do this on this day. So I was like, okay, why not just do it? All right, so the manifestation process, a little intro about what is all of this. So the first thing is to realize and recognize that we are not our human body. It is the energy field that is around us. That is what we are. We are this energy field, this consciousness around us. So that helps us separate our consciousness, or who we are is much, much bigger than our human body. So that's the first thing to realize. And then the second is, in this energy field contains all of our emotions, everything that has happened in the past and the past lives. All of it is stored in our consciousness or in our energy field, and all the resentment, anger, grief, all of that is just stuck right there in our energy fields as different energies, if you will, if you would like to have that kind of a visual representation. And when we are trying to manifest something, when, for example, let's say we are manifesting money, we are manifesting our dream life. So the energy of the manifestation comes the minute we set that intention. That energy is coming in and it's ready to enter into our energy field. That's how powerful we are. That's how powerful our intention is. But there is all of this, as we are talking here, the past negative beliefs or emotions or the past lives, all of the contradictory belief that is contradicting the manifestation. So that's where I go on to the next slide, where the healing comes in. So the healing is all about removing these blocks, removing these stuck energy, the heavy energy in our energy field. And once that gets removed, then the manifestation can show up. And ideally, this is the kind of the place that all of us are looking to reach. The love, the joy, the abundance. When our energy field is filled with this kind of higher vibrational energy frequency, that's when we are attracting the manifestations, whether it is money, new house, a new partner, whatever that is. So that's the manifestation process. And from there, I'm going to jump on to this slide here, which is taken from the book Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. Now, this graph shows us what David Hawkins have done. If you haven't seen his work already, is he has given number values to all of the images that I was showing you before. So if at all we are vibrating full of shame, for example, all that is there in our energy field is full of shame, then that is the vibration of 20, for example. So so when we have numbers that we can stick into each of these emotions, that gets us a different picture. So as you can see, 20, shame, and 75, grief, 100, fear, 150, anger, and so on. And love comes at 50 and any 500, sorry. So 500, anywhere 500 or above is the ideal. This image is at 500 or above, and that's where we are trying to reach. In order for us to manifest our dream life, our ultimate goal is for us to reach this frequency of 500 or above. And with these numbers in place, now we understand the energy field that looks like this of a person. The answer might be that the energy field of or this person is vibrating at 100 or low, and a person whose energy field looks like this is vibrating at 500 or above. So with that information in place, I should add one statement here, that in order to bring up this modality, I was working with a channeler who channels the divine. And I had few questions to ask about how the manifestation process works. And that's how all of this information I received, and I have just put that into a picture format so I can show it to you in a visual representation way. And that this energy field, which is filled with love and abundance and joy, which is vibrational frequency above 500, is what is the goal of this modality, bliss consciousness. Now, most of the healing modalities, this is what it is trying to achieve. That is where the healing process itself is, as I said, it's removing these blocks. But with bliss consciousness, this is the goal that I have for all the members who are coming in for bliss consciousness. Now, going back to power versus force, some of the stats I want to share with you is, if we are vibrating at a consciousness of 1000 or above, we would be a Jesus or a Buddha or a Krishna, who is in alignment with the highest truth of the universe. The further we are away from the truth, the truth with a capital T, the actual truth of this universe, the further we are away from it, the lesser our vibrational frequency is. So if at all we are vibrating at 20, shame, then we might be close to death, manifesting physical problems like cancer and all the diseases. So all of that happens because of these lower energy vibrations that we are holding on to. And when Dr. David Hawkins wrote the book about 18 to 20 years back, they were no one vibrating at the level of 1000. The average level of the humanity of this entire planet was only at 207. And the average consciousness of United States was 421, China 300, India 355, and Middle East 170. How he does this is by a process called kinesiology. He uses muscle testing to find what energy, frequency, vibration are we vibrating at. So that's how this is done. And we have the information, or we have the power to test it ourselves and find what vibrational frequency are we vibrating at. And I will be sharing that in the upcoming sessions, how we can do that for ourselves. And one of the important information in here is as well that one individual vibrating at a frequency of 500 or above helps about 750,000 people who is vibrating at the level of less than 200 to raise their consciousness. So when we are working on ourselves to raise our vibrational frequency, we are unconsciously contributing to about 750,000 people can change and raise their vibrations, raise their frequency when we are vibrating at 500 or above. With that being said, imagine if just 1% of this whole planet is vibrating at 500 or above, and that can influence the entire planet. And most people will only increase their level by 5 points in a lifetime. And that again is shared in the book. I highly recommend, if at all you haven't read this book, it's a wonderful book to check out. So if we are only raising our vibrational frequency by 5 points in a whole lifetime, how many lifetimes are going to take for us to get there? But another interesting stats again from this book was a thorough absorption of the material presented in this book has been shown to raise one's level of consciousness by an average of 35 points. Just by reading this book, it is proven statistically that a person was able to, on an average, they are raising about 35 points. So here my question was, would you rather choose to live 7 lifetimes to raise 5 points, or would you rather read a book of this sort to raise your frequency by 35 points? Now, the reason why this happens is because when we are, this book in general is about consciousness, is about the truth of the universe. The more we learn about the truth, the wisdom that we can gain, and the more aligned we are with the truth, the easier for us to raise our vibration. And this is the most crucial slide of this presentation, so I really want you to tune in. The information that I received when I was working with the divine, with the channeler, was that regardless of the healer, regardless of the healing modality, change cannot take place unless the client is fully ready to release their blocks. So regardless of whichever healer you're going to, whichever healing modality you are going to, this information was so crucial for me that I started asking myself, I can do all the healing in the world that I have, but what if my clients are not ready to release their blocks? And another information there was, they said that from the conscious mind of a human, the client might come in and tell me that they are ready to release all their blocks. They just want to reach, 500 or above. But the truth is, even though they might say it from their conscious mind, the inner energy field is all about, it's not ready to release these blocks because we haven't learned the lesson that we are trying to learn. So that takes me, so before I go on here, it's important that we understand the truth of the reason why we came down, or we chose to come down to earth. And that's a good question to ask yourself. Why did I choose to come down to earth? What is the reason for my birth? Why did I choose to come down here at this time of the earth? And these questions will reveal that at the end of the day, earth is a school, and we are all here as students to learn. And we are here to learn the lessons of compassion, lessons of love and joy and abundance and truth, and lessons of money, which is one of the major blocks. So we are all here to learn the lessons, and unless we learn those lessons, the blocks that we have created in ourselves are not ready to release. So have that in your mind as I go through this slide, and I'll come back to that point at a later time. So then, coming back to the bliss consciousness healing modality, I was asking, okay, there are so many different healing modalities already existing. What difference can I bring, or what is it? What else is possible? How can I give my clients a huge raise up? How can they transform their lives finally? And that's when this information came to me as I was receiving the downloads. Most of the healing modalities are taking a bottom-up approach. In my point of view, you don't have to buy into that. So what we are trying to do is, for example, we go for a healing session and we try to work on the guilt and the shame and the anger. We do a little bit of forgiveness. So that's where we are trying to raise from 100 to 200 to maybe 205, 210. We are working our way up. So when I was asking this question of what else is possible, what else can happen, I received this top-down approach, meaning, what if we can directly access this 1000 level of vibration, consciousness, absolute universal consciousness. But it is like, okay, if I'm going to do that, it's like I'm teaching a first grade student a 10th grade book. So a person who is vibrating at 200 or 300, I'm trying to teach them or share with them the 1000 level consciousness information. So then the question is, can this person receive this information? Can a first grade child learn a 10th grade book? But there's a twist and turn there. The first grade child that I'm talking about believes that the child is a child and has forgotten who the child actually is, right? So we all have forgotten who we are. Once we come down to planet Earth, we forget who we are. And this 10th grade book, the so-called 10th grade book, is actually written and authored by the same first grade child, meaning you and I know what consciousness is because that's where we are coming from. And therefore, it is not me teaching the 10th grade book, rather it's just helping you remember the 10th grade book because everything is inside of you. And therefore, my challenge that I've taken up here is that when I present this 10th grade book to the first grade child, when the child sees this book, the child will remember, yes, I remember this. Yes, I remember I authored this book. And if we can get to that remembrance state of who we are truly, that's where this huge shift and transformation can happen. And that's the approach I'm taking with Bliss Consciousness. So from there, I'm going straight on to the 10th grade book lessons here in the next few slides, because I know you can absorb it. I know you can remember it. What is the future of humanity? And the inside information that I received is an enlightened civilization by 2035. If you're not able to see the slides. So that's the inside information that I was receiving, that what we are trying to go to is this enlightened civilization. And now if we think, now we are in 2020, can this happen in the next 15 years that everyone on this planet Earth is enlightened? Well, from our human mind, we just cannot understand how all of this is going to happen. But the truth is, going back to our current situation of coronavirus and all that we are facing right now, it's a beautiful divine plan to raise human consciousness. And yes, this is the first time such a global, we call it the pandemic, but I would like to call it a global event. A global event, this is the first time it's happening. And yes, all of us know the dark side of it, but what if there's a positive side to it? What if it's a divine, beautiful plan to raise our human consciousness? And I also received this information that this is going to be just this first of this kind of transformation happening on Earth, and this is going to continue with multiple other types of such intervention that's going to just shift and change. And if this change is going to continue at this rapid speed in affecting globally the whole Earth, then obviously I believe that an enlightened civilization by 2035 is possible. Moving on. So now I'm stepping back and moving back to 5,000, 10,000 years back. And this comes from ancient texts which were existing, which was written 5,000 years or more back. And this consists of four, the ancient yogis call it the yugas, which is basically the ages, the golden age, the silver age, the bronze age, and the iron age. And the past, I do not know, maybe 1,000, more than 1,200 years, I guess, was the Iron Age, right down at the bottom right here, where you see Kali Yuga is what it is called. We were in this the darkest of all ages, where everything is collapsing. Humanity just forgot what is love, what is compassion, fighting with each other, eating the dirt, all the fast foods and all of that. So that's what the Kali Yuga was predicted 5,000 years back. And now at 2020, we are in the Bronze Age, which is called the Dwapara Yuga by those ancient yogis. So Earth itself is shifting and changing, and we are racing and moving back to that golden age to come back. And this golden age is where we go back to that fully enlightened state, becoming one with all that is. So I'm sharing that information just to show you that all the recent and current information and all the information that was produced 5,000, 10,000 years back align with each other. Everything tells us the same information, which helps our human mind believe in this information. And as you know, from the current information, Earth is shifting and changing from this 3D to 4D and then to 5D. In other words, Earth itself is in this journey of raising Earth's vibrational frequency. And this beautiful book by Dolores Cannon, The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth, again, another book that I highly recommend. So this beautiful divine plan was created a few years back, few years meaning it can be like 100, where a set of volunteers volunteered to be born on Earth to help Earth raise this vibrational frequency, and that's what they call as volunteers. And most of the healers who are right now working in this field, spiritually awakening themselves to the truth of the consciousness and all of that, are the volunteers, in fact. And the fact is, millions of souls are born onto Earth as volunteers who are helping this Earth. And the best way to recognize the volunteers are the ones who are spiritually awakening and who are spiritually awakened. And most of you in this call would come under this category, even though you might not fully realize and recognize and remember all of that. But so I'm specifically talking to the healers on this call, especially. The sooner we remember the truth, the sooner we remember who we are, the sooner we understand that we are in fact the volunteers who have volunteered to come down to Earth, to spiritually awaken ourselves and raise our human consciousness and help others on Earth to raise their vibrational consciousness. Once we remember, once we awaken, I'm literally shivering when I'm sharing this information, because it resonates that much with me, and I hope you are getting these goosebumps as well. The sooner we realize to the truth, the sooner we align ourselves with the truth, the sooner we spread this information with the world, the easier we can help this transition happen. As I said, this is the 10th grade book that I'm talking about, this information here. And that itself should blow out all of those beliefs, all of the shame and anger and all the drama that we are having in this life, because that's not true. And how can we clinch to it? And clinging to it is affecting us, and it's affecting the Earth. And we are not doing the divine duty that we are here for until we are clinging on to this anger and fear and shame and regret. Until we are stuck in the story of our human life, we cannot perform our divine duty why we came here for. So wake up, remember who you are, remember what you have come here for. All right, I am moving on. I know I get stuck in such slides. All right, so before we are born, we, all of us, regardless of whether we are volunteers or not, all of us have a soul plan where we have selected specific set of challenges. And this is, if at all you are interested in doing your own personal soul plan reading, you can search for soul plan readers. And this is being taught, it is a course taught by Holistic Healing College in the UK. And I'm a certified soul plan reader, but I'm not doing any one-on-one sessions at this time. So you can go to 0 Point Healing if you would like to search for a soul plan reader and uncover the truth of yourself. And each one of us have this kind of soul plan where we have a specific set of challenges that we have chosen, specific set of talents that we have chosen, and specific set of goals that we want to achieve in this particular lifetime. Every one of us who are born into earth have this kind of a plan. And the talents that we have brought in is what is going to help us overcome our challenges and reach the goals. And there in the center, as you can see, there is a soul destiny. There is a soul destiny that what we all have come here for. And the more we start achieving the goals, the spiritual goals and the worldly goals, the easier we get into our destiny. But I'm sharing this information here in this presentation for you to realize that it's a beautiful drama that we have scripted for ourselves. Our human life, our human character, the costume that we are wearing is a beautiful drama that we have scripted for ourselves. There is absolutely no truth in the pain and the suffering that you are going through in your life. It's just a script that you have written for yourself. And you have chosen this. You have said, all right, if I have this kind of a breakup at the age of 20, I will have the shame and the guilt and the anger. And therefore, I can learn the lessons of compassion. That's how you have written the script for yourself. And all of your negative beliefs, all of your negative emotions is a script that you wrote for yourself. And the more you remember it, the more you will be able to come out of all this drama, the script that you have written for yourself. And doing a soul plan reading will, of course, help you to know the script that you have written for yourself, the challenges that you have chosen for yourself. And of course, the lack and scarcity, the poverty, story that each of us have for ourselves is a beautiful script that we have written. By being in poverty, by being in lack, by being in scarcity, I will learn the lessons of the truth. I will learn the lessons of money. I will learn the lessons of abundance. It's a script that all of your problems is a script that you have written for teaching yourself the lessons that you are here to learn. The more you remember it, the easier you will be able to get out of it and step into the truth of who you are. The root of all your suffering is your attachment to the character you are playing in this drama. The more you are believing, the more you say, all right, I am Vishnupriya. That is not true. I am not Vishnupriya. I'm not this character that I'm playing. I'm not this role that I'm playing. I am the soul who is residing inside. I'm the spirit. I am the consciousness that's inside of me. And I would like to, you are sitting like this, I would like to separate yourself, you meaning the soul that you are, separate yourself and look at the human self that you are. And when you shift, when you release your attachment to the character that you are playing, your healing process can progress 1,000 times faster. So once, I just want you to do this quick exercise in your mind. Split up yourself from the human self that you are and start addressing yourself as she or he. What is it that she is trying to learn by holding on to that lack and scarcity? What is it that she is trying to learn by holding on to the limiting beliefs, self-limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough? When you split yourself out from your human body and look at yourself into the mirror, and it's a good exercise here is to tell yourself as she or he, as a second person, so that helps you detach from the role, from the character that you are playing. And that helps you step into the truth of who you are, the soul that you are. And that's what meditation helps you do. The true goal of meditation is to put yourself into the soul of who you are and becoming this observer, the witness. And this brings me back to the ancient Vedas and the yogis. And Vedas are, maybe you can think of it as books, the books written about the truth of who we are. And this is more than 5,000 years back, when even before all of the religions were created, even before Hinduism. So there is this false belief that Vedas and the ancient yogis have something to do with Hinduism, which is not the case. The books of Vedas were written even before Hinduism was developed, and Hinduism was in fact developed from some of these Vedic concepts. But Vedas in and itself has no religion. It was written way back from any religions. And there are 4 major Vedas, which is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. And we will be going in depth into all of this during the following Bliss Consciousness sessions. But for this session, I want you to understand the concept that the Vedas talk about, which is the Atman. It's a Sanskrit word, which is the spirit. It's the inner self, as I was talking about. I am this spirit, this Atman, which is inside of me. And the concept of Brahman, Brahman meaning, you can say, the creator, the vast force field that's around us. You can call it the universe, you can call it anything. It's just this vast energy field, the creator, if you would like to use that word. The absolute consciousness. And what Vedas talk about is you and the divine are just one. And the books, these Vedas, were written by, again, this is an inside information, that the star seeds who came onto the earth at the start of the earth's creation left these books for us to look back, to learn the truth of ourselves and reach the higher vibrational consciousness. And so it's really powerful information what is there inside of this and how much it can transform us. And some of the secret of the Vedas are that we are these 3 different parts of us: the physical self, the body, the mental self, the mind, and the observer self, the witness. So the observer self is what is the soul, the spirit. So the more we put ourselves into an observer of the life, just witnessing the life, witnessing the character that we are playing, the easier for us, as I was talking about, detaching ourselves from the character, from the role that we are playing. Witness is just awareness. It doesn't judge, it just observes. And that's the true goal of meditation. Meditation helps you put into this observer mode. It puts you back into this witness mode, witnessing, observing yourself. And for example, this is what the example I was talking about. Example, say you had a breakup and you created it so that it's just another lesson that you're learning here on Earth School. It's just another way to learn compassion. So when you get into that observer self, just witnessing your whole life, when you turn back, there's no anger, there is no blame, you're just observing it, you're just witnessing it with no judgments to it. And I love this STOP technique. It's an acronym. S stands for stop, T for taking a breathe. Breathe puts you into that observer mode, observing your breathing. And O for observe, and P for proceed. So whenever you see, when you're living your daily life, someone fights with you and there's this anger, there's this emotional trigger, you can immediately say, stop. Who am I being? I'm going back into the character that I'm playing. And once you separate yourself and look at yourself like an observer, the minute you say stop and become the observer of your life, there's no anger, there's no emotional trigger that comes in. And this word, Satchidananda, again comes from us, it's a Sanskrit word that comes from Vedas. Such meaning eternal truth of existence, the truth, the absolute truth, and Chit meaning consciousness, and Ananda means bliss. And Satchidananda, in the meaning of the word is unchanging ultimate reality of true bliss. And that bliss that we can feel once you get into the truth of who you are, and that is what we are going to do in this session, experiencing the true bliss. You might feel happiness outside of you. When you get a new car, when you get a new house, that might give you happiness, but the true bliss can only be found within you when you put yourself inside. And that's the word Satchidananda translates to bliss consciousness, and that's what this whole modality and all of that I'm trying to do here. So the main elements of bliss consciousness is going to be the group meditation. It's going to be a weekly group meditation session, just like what we are doing today. It's going to be a 90-minute session. I'm going to do it every Saturday. It's a group meditational technique, and I'm making it a group meditation rather than a one-on-one healing session because of the Maharishi effect. You can Google this if this is the first time you're hearing about it. You can Google the Maharishi effect, and what it is there was an experiment that was done by sending a group of meditators to a specific place where the crime rate was really high. And this set of meditators just sit in the city in a rented space, and they just do meditation for 2 hours. And at the end of 30 days, when they measured the crime rate again, the crime rate of the place had decreased, and the energy frequency of the city has increased. So, and it is also said from the Maharishi effect that if 1% of the total human population meditates at the same time, it can raise the whole vibrational frequency of the earth, which is why to harness this group potential, rather than me doing this healing session for you one-on-one, when we are doing it as a group of 100, the transition that each one of us are going to have is 100-folds than doing a one-on-one session, which is why I have made it a group meditation technique. And we will be starting with Atman to Brahman expansion meditation, meaning from our spirit, we are expanding and becoming one with the Brahman, the creator. So that's where we get started. From there, we will be moving into healing your past prime events. And what this is, as I said, when you have this deep emotional of fear or anger or shame stuck in your energy field because something happened to you 15 years back, you will not be able to come out of it unless it's as if it's a glue, it's just sticking onto you, and you cannot detach from the character that you're playing until this glue is in place. So healing this past prime events help you to unglue yourself, to detach yourself, and releasing these emotions that is making you stuck in the past. And then we will move on to changing your past timeline. So in order for us to move into a new timeline, the easiest process is by changing our past timeline. I'm going to show you how we are going to do that. And then we would be doing the quantum jumping to a new parallel timeline. I'll explain it in the next slide. Silent mantra meditation, which is an ancient Vedic practice. We will do that for 15 minutes in every Bliss Consciousness session upcoming, all sessions. As well as I'm this great believer in wisdom. And all the information that I have been put in front of as well tells me that It's wisdom that's going to help you heal yourself. Yes, you can do 100 different healing sessions with healers one-on-one. It can be a Reiki energy healing or anything of that sort. Unless you learn the lessons that you're trying to learn, these blocks will not be removed. And just as how we saw, reading The Power versus Force, the book, just a book can increase 35 points, 35 points in your level of consciousness. If that's the case, imagine if you can read such books every week. And I'm making a practice in Bliss Consciousness to read one book a week. And these books are gonna become the reference material of Bliss Consciousness. And all of these books will be, each week I'll tell you which book we will be reading. And all of these books are about consciousness, are about the truth, are the 10th grade books, if you will. And the more you read these books and align yourself with the truth, the easier for you to release these stuck energy inside of you. And if that's the case, every week, this program is going to help you raise your vibrational frequency by a minimum of 10 to 15 or even 30 points. Because there's two things happening. Every time you come for the session, you're receiving the healing. And that past week, you're reading this book. So it's like the double power. It's at the end of the day, it's about raising the vibration, and I'm trying to put layers after layers, everything that can help you raise your vibrational level just higher up. And this is going to be a 90-minute session, every Bliss Consciousness session. And the first 30 minutes is going to be the book review. The book that we have read for the past 1 week, we will be reviewing the main points of it, the main lessons that the book is trying to teach us. For 30 minutes, it will be the book review. And then the next 60 minutes is going to be the healing session that you're going to experience today. And a new practice that I'm trying to bring in here as well. Most of you would be doing a meditation. I hope so, but we are going to do a silent mantra meditation every day just as a practice, 20 minutes a day. And mantra meditation specifically has a huge difference compared to a guided meditation you might be hearing. You're going to experience that in the session as well. Okay, so what has happened? Okay, moving on to quantum jumping to new timelines. This is an important information that you need to know in order for me to conduct the session. So, first of all, how is the reality on Earth happening? Again, this is another 10th grade information. I hope you can absorb it, you can remember it. Okay, so time itself is... if at all I can, okay, yes, here it is. Okay, so reality happens, time itself is an illusion. There is nothing called time, and all of your past, present, and future is happening right now. That's the absolute truth. But on Earth, it has been made in such a way that we can experience linear time. But in truth, that's not, it's just an illusion. And how this is happening is every second is a new picture, if you will, just for your understanding. And we are moving from one picture to another picture as we move. As I move from this room to another room, there are 70 pictures, and these pictures are aligning to show us as if it's a linear time that is taking me to get from here to there. But in truth, all of this is happening at the same time. I know it's difficult to understand, but that's the information there. So if that's the case, let's assume everything is in the now, all of your past lifetimes, all of your future life and your future lifetimes are existing right now. If that's the case, do you have the power to change your past? Do you have the power to change your future? And the answer is yes. And that's where the quantum jumping to new timeline technique comes in. So now if you look from your birth to now, you might have switched multiple timelines, and this is a normal process. It's not something new for us. It's a normal process. We shift and change into new timelines at maybe once a year, maybe once a month. It depends on the things that's happening in our life. So a best example that I can give you here is I had a healing session a year back, maybe. The previous day of my healing session, my bank account was literally negative. And that was the case for, I think, at least 6 months at that time. I was in deep, deep trouble before all my spiritual awakening. And then I did this healing session. The next day, I had $5,000 in my bank account. There was a person who was ready to buy my business who came in after the healing session that completely changed. And now when I look back, at that time, what happened was I actually jumped to a new timeline. And that's what happens when you're jumping from one timeline to another. So if you see, look at my life at that time, those 6 months when my bank account was negative, all the problems were happening, I was in one timeline. And the healing session helped me jump to this new timeline. And the next day, my life changed. But jumping to new timelines doesn't really mean the next day your life will change. I'm just giving you that as an example. But what happens is there will be a new set of sequence of events that is happening in your life that helps you manifest what it is that you want. And at the end of this particular session, you will be jumping to a new timeline, because that's my intention and that's the healing that I'm giving you. And I would like for you to set the same intention as well. At the end of this session, whether you are doing it live or watching the replay, you will be jumping to a new timeline. Now, when you jump to a new timeline, I want you to understand, and jumping to the new timeline in order to manifest the dreams that you have sent me, the dream life that you have in your mind. That's the intention. But I want you to understand this. The point at which we are jumping to this timeline is before the manifestation has happened. It's not to a point where the manifestation has already happened. For example, the day I told you about, I was in negative, I did this healing session, I jumped to the new timeline, and that doesn't mean my reality or my house or anything has changed. And right after the healing session, there wasn't the $5,000 in my bank account, but I jumped to a timeline, to a point where the manifestation is about to happen. I hope that's clear. The manifestation is about to happen and you are jumping to a point before that. And when that happens, there will be sequence of signals that you are receiving from the universe in order to manifest your dream. So for example, the day where I said I got my $5,000, there was this inspiration that I received to create a Facebook post with specific words that my business is for sale. But I want you to note this. I did that. I have done 10,000 posts on Facebook before the healing session, and nothing ever has happened. But it was the same act. I was guided to do it. There is this intuition, this gut feeling, the signal that the universe gives you, the inspiration that you receive to do something. And I did the same post, and 2 minutes after I put the post, someone messaged me that he's interested to buy my business. And 1 hour after that, I had $5,000 in my bank account. So when you are shifting and jumping to a new timeline, there would be sequence of events that happens in order to take you to that manifestation of your dream life. It might be something like a book that you're reading gives you some message to take some inspired action. It might be somebody whom you are on phone tells you some information that gives you this idea, why don't I do this? Some kind of inspiration takes place. And the good news is how the universe works again is this beautiful creator, if you want to call it that way. The creator gives you signals. If one signal is given and you did not take action, the signal comes back in different form over and over again until you take that inspired action. So that's a good news for us. But following the session in the upcoming week, I want you to tune into your intuition. and be as much present as possible in your life to see the signals from the universe that tells you to take action. If you're, for example, if your intention is to get more clients, then you might be divinely led to that point after the session. There would be some inspirations that you are receiving. It might be to create a Facebook post or to create a YouTube video or to do something, an inspired action that leads you there. So as much as possible in the upcoming week, be tuned into these signals that you will receive in order to manifest that. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, moving on to the silent mantra meditation. Here today we are going to use Om mantra. Om is the sound with which the universe is created and is being created. Again, it's not created meaning past tense. As you know now, everything is happening right now. And the sound of Om is continuously being said throughout, always. And when we tune inside our heart, we can hear this mantra. Each week of Bliss Consciousness session, we might be working with different mantras. For today, I'm starting with Om because that's the first point. Om rises from pure consciousness, and listening to Om mantra from inside your heart. Listening doesn't mean, listening from a YouTube or whatever. It's listening to your inner voice, and hearing this Om mantra inside of you helps us reunite with the divine, reuniting with the consciousness, and raise our vibrations. If the Om mantra is stopped even for a microsecond, the whole universe as we know it would disappear instantly. And this again is from one of the Veda books that I read from all the ancient wisdom. So this is the mantra we will be using today for 15 minutes. We will be sitting in silent. I will be silent and you will be silent. You will be just hearing or listening, or this inner voice of yours that would keep repeating this Om, Om mantra. I'll show you how we will do it during the session as well. All right, so this slide here, we are nearing, I know I'm over time here, but I think this information is what helps you release these blocks. So I think this was important for me to share. But this slide was not, I did not intend to put it here, but most of the emails that I received from you had your dreams and goals as manifesting something to do with money was there in every one of your reply, in most of your reply. So that's why I thought I would share with you the money information that changed my beliefs about money. So first of all, if you are a healer, we ourselves have to heal our money story. And wealth and prosperity is your divine right. That's the truth. Lack is just an illusion once again that this earth shows us, but abundance is the truth. It's the consciousness. That's the truth. Abundance is the truth. And money, as you know it, while you're making it on earth, it comes from inside of you. It's generated from inside of you. And even though it might seem as if it's people who are coming to your life who's giving you the money, that's not the truth. Money is generated from inside of you. And when you are spending money, for example, when you're giving money to somebody else, you are sharing your wealth from inside of you. You have all this wealth inside of you, and you are sharing your wealth and prosperity with the world. So whenever it is that you are handing over money to somebody else, do it with love, with gratitude, because you are able to share your inner wealth with the world, and not with this cringe of, oh, this money is going from me and it's gone. Money gone is never coming back, right? That's the normal human belief. That's not the truth. There is abundance of wealth inside of you. Every time you're sharing your money with this world, you are sharing your inner wealth. You are sharing love. Money is love, in fact. And when you're booking a session with healer, this is one of the major information that just because I was in this belief that money is evil, and therefore whenever I'm doing the healing sessions, I should not get money, and healing must be done for free. All of that beliefs that I was in previously, but this information just shattered all of that. So when we are booking a session with a healer, for example, the time that we are spending with the healer, for example, all of you are spending your time with me today, that shows your commitment for your change. So the time that we are investing is the commitment, whereas the money exchange is the anchoring into the energy that we want to move into. With that being said, I know that I have given this session for free. In that sense, even free session shouldn't even be done in the first place. But as you know, it's a gift from me. And but there is lack of money exchange in this particular session. We are going to do a short exercise after this in order to rectify that. But anyways, the information here is the time is the commitment that you put into your transformation, whereas the money exchange that you're doing with the healer puts that energy. Money, as you know, it is energy, and it is anchoring into the energy of the transformation. And therefore money exchange is crucial. If you are a healer, if you're doing healing sessions for free or for lower amount, it's important to understand that you charging higher money from your clients is in the client's best interest, because there is more energy that you're putting in that helps more transformation for the clients. And when you are spending money on a program or on a healing session, there are two aspects. Number one, how willing are you to give yourself? So the money that you are putting in for your healing session especially is the money that you're investing in yourself. For example, I'm just taking this phone here. I spent, for example, $1,000 on this phone. So what happens there is I'm giving $1,000 and I'm getting this phone because I'm ready to receive it. So I am the giver and I am the receiver here. And just the same way, when you are doing a healing session, the money that you are giving in is also you are receiving it back. It shows how much willing are you to give and to receive. So it's not from our human mind, it is always that we are giving money to somebody else, but that's not the truth. You are also receiving, and how ready are you to receive is what shows whether you're willing to give that money. And second aspect is how much self-worth you have to spend that money on yourself, right? So when I'm giving $1,000 for this phone, this is something outside of me. It's not inside of me. But when I'm spending $1,000 on a healing session, it is like an investment that I'm making inside myself. The change that I'm gonna feel for that $1,000 is inside of myself. And therefore, how much self-worth do we have to spend that $1,000 in ourselves, rather than we will be very comfortable spending it on cell phones or computers or whatever, the outside things, the material things. It's so easy for us to spend money. But when it comes to healing, there's always this resistance, and that resistance comes from our self-worth. When our self-worth is low, obviously we will not be ready to spend that money for the healing session. So these two, and therefore again coming back, if you are a healer, when you're charging money from your clients, you are helping them raise their self-worth. If you're charging them $100 and if they are ready to invest that $100, the $100 shows their self-worth, how much they value themselves. And if you're charging them $1,000, and this brings me to another important information, if at all you had paid me $100 for the session, what mindset would you come in with? How much excited, how much of intention and energy would you be giving to that? Whereas if you have paid me $1,000 for the session, what energy vibration will you be showing up? And from my experience, I have seen that when a client I'm doing for a free session, they at times they just forget the session they've booked with me. Whereas a person who has paid me $100 or $500 or $1,000 package, they are the ones who come into my session without failing. They come in with the spirit of, I want transformation, I want change, I spend this $1,000 on myself and I want the results for it. When you show up in that energy, it's that intention that you bring in. That's what is transforming you. And therefore, by doing free sessions or by giving the healing sessions for a lower amount, the clients who show up are the way that they show up would not be with that much commitment. All right. So money is a representation of love. Hopefully all of that information shatters a lot of money beliefs. And in the healing session today, you will be ready to release all of that. And you loving yourself enough to invest in yourself and getting ready to receive. The more you invest in yourself, you're opening up to receive. You're telling the universe, by investing in yourself, you're telling the universe that I'm ready to receive. That's what this money investment is all about. And a very beautiful affirmation, if you would like to use, is I am born to be rich and to grow rich using my gifts. It's your talents, it's your wisdom, it's your gifts. That is the money that you are looking for, and all the wealth that you're wanting can come from inside. Once you tap into your wisdom, tap into your gifts, and use that gifts and wisdom, share it with others, that's where money comes to you. That's your wealth. The more you value yourself, the more wealth you will have. All right. Okay, so what is the cost of Bliss Consciousness program? I thought I wouldn't include this slide, but anyways, I was like, all right, so there's so many of you coming in, and rather than messaging back and forth, I thought I'll share this here. With me saying so much about money, the $111 that I'm charging per month for 4 sessions of Bliss Consciousness is almost laughable. It's valuable 10 times more than that amount, but just because I'm launching this program for the first time, and I would love to have some feedback and reviews that's coming in the next upcoming months, I'm keeping it the lowest that it can be. But at the same time, I know that increasing the price of this program will help you. It's in your best interest that I increase this price, but knowing that I'm still keeping it $111 per month, which consists of 4 sessions every week. We are going to meet every Saturday, following Saturdays for the session, if you're ready to sign in for the program. As well as I'm putting in a small referral program there, just because this is a group meditation session, and the more people we can have in the session, the more we can transform. Just to inspire you, just to motivate you a little bit, to bring in your friends or people who might help this session, I'm putting in a 10% off for each new member that you would like to bring in, as well as the first session. Just like how you're experiencing the session for free, the first session for everyone would be free, and therefore you can bring in how many ever friends, tell them to taste one of these sessions, and if they like, they can continue. If that's the case, with a 10% off, you can, if at all 10 of your friends is interested, you can keep the program for free. So I'm just adding it in, not for marketing purposes, just to make sure that we have the maximum number of people, because everyone who comes into the session is an addition. It helps all of us transform. I'm done. Whew. Thank you. I'm done with the presentation. I'm moving on to the healing session. Oops, it has been 1 hour. I'm sorry for that. Let's move on to the healing that we have. Whew, I'm going to drink some water, and we are going to close eyes and start the healing session. All right. Oh, are you ready? You can drink some water if you would like. And you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And all the information that you received today, all of the aha moments, all of the information that just opened up your mind, Let it all sink in, allowing it all to enter into your energy field, and that in and itself helps us start this healing process. See all of the information, the new knowledge, the new wisdom that you gained in this 1 hour to sink into your energy field and tune into your heart. Step down from our brains and stepping into our hearts. And see this beautiful light inside of your heart sparkling like a star. And that's the Atman, the spirit, the soul, the truth of who we are. And let's now expand this beautiful light. The minute you set the intention to expand, it just expands like a balloon, expanding throughout the whole body, expanding throughout the building that you are in, expanding throughout the city that you are in, like a beautiful ball of light, expanding throughout the whole country that you are in, expanding throughout the whole planet Earth. See this beautiful light which was inside of you, expanding throughout the globe of Earth, and see it encompassing throughout the Earth. And now, I want you to expand it even bigger, going up higher and higher, out of the planet Earth, expanding it in all directions, going up and down at the same time, expanding it into the 4th plane of existence, out of all the solar system, out of the galaxies, into the 5th plane of existence of this beautiful golden light, expanding it down, focusing, expanding it down into the heart of Mother Earth, and expanding it right and left and front and back. And now expanding it in all 6 directions at the same time, moving into the 6th plane of existence as you expand in all 6 directions. And moving into the 7th plane of the universal consciousness. And becoming one with the Creator. And becoming the Creator. Becoming this great central sun. This beautiful energy ball shining like a sun. Feel yourself completely expanded and becoming one with the Brahman, with the Creator. And you and the Creator are one and the same. Creator is not separate from you. And becoming one. And just observe. And falling into the bliss of this consciousness. Of the Absolute. And feel the bliss that it gives when we reunite with the truth of who we are. And now we are going to go into the healing temple in the higher dimension for us to heal all the hundreds of participants in this call and everyone who are watching the replay. See all of us walking into this beautiful healing temple. Everything looks like just light, just glittering. It's a healing temple made of light. Step into this beautiful dome of the healing temple. It looks like a beautiful white dome. It's a circular shape. Just walk into it, and at the center, you can see a beautiful sacred geometry like a mandala. And all of us, hundreds of us, are going to sit around holding our hands in a circle. See all hundreds of us sitting in the circle. And now let's set an intention and call forth on all our spirit guides and angels and all the higher dimensional beings who are here today. And each one of us have our own set of spiritual team members who are always with us, helping us in this journey of living this earth life. To set an intention to call them all, and they are already here for us. And our guides and angels are forming circles behind us. It's like circle within the circle, around us. And there are tens of rows of these circles that the guides and angels, all the archangels, all the guides that each one of us have. And I'm calling in my guides and angels. All the higher dimensional beings who are watching us, who are listening to our conversations, who are looking at our pain and suffering, and who are here to help us heal ourselves. And now let's set an intention to call on our spirit animals. Each one of us have at least one spirit animal. Spirit animals represent a lot of beautiful attributes like courage and power and compassion. So if you're not sure who or what your spirit animal is, that's completely fine. Whichever animal comes to your mind. See your beautiful spirit animal sitting in your lap and sending you this beautiful healing energy. And now we are calling forth on the Creator, all that is the absolute consciousness, the universal consciousness, the divine. And see it coming in the center of the dome like a beautiful light, white, tingly light, just being and sitting in the presence of this divine beings and the Creator. Helps us raise our vibration. Just feel into this high vibrational energy of the guides. And from the stats, usually the guides and the angels are vibrating at 50,000 or more in human numbers of level of consciousness. So you can experience how this higher vibrational energy is just entering into our energy field. And see this beautiful Creator's unconditional love, white tingly light spreading all over the healing temple. And in this healing temple, you can smell the beautiful smells of flowers around. You can smell the incense. like essential oils. You can feel in your skin this high vibrational energy. You can taste how it tastes to be in this unconditional love. And you can see visually this beautiful healing temple surrounded with beautiful alchemy symbols all over, with the beautiful bells and the sound of the bells. And you can hear the sound of the bell, the sound of the singing birds, helping us raise our vibration. And from here, we are starting off with our healing journey. And the first is about just disattaching, unattaching, just letting go of our human character. And for this, we will work on three major emotions that keep our vibrations low. We will start off with the lowest frequency emotion, which is shame. If shame exists in your energy field, in your personal energy field, I want you to look into your energy field with your third eye, and you can see it so clearly. Even if you don't see it, you can just feel it, you can know it. Where in your energy field do you see shame, the energy of shame? And even talking about it is so disgusting, and feel that disgusting feeling that comes up with the shame. And in front of you opens up a huge screen, like a movie screen. And each of you will see only your screen. And only you can see your screen. And here plays your life from when you entered into the womb until now. Every way you experienced shame, all shame energy in your energy field, I'm asking all of that to come up, 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 of everyone who are here, all the shame energy that you have compressed, you have contracted in anywhere in your energy field, come up, up, up. And now the movie starts and you start seeing the scenes of your life, this life, every way you experienced shame. I want you to feel into that disgusting emotion of shame. How does it make you feel? Where does it make you cringe? What is it that you never want to remember about your life? Until we compress it all, we cannot heal it. Allow it to just come up for one and last time. And today, we get it healed. And the events are playing in the movie screen now. Right from your birth, right from when you were in the womb. The shame might be that your school teacher scolded you in front of others, that made you feel ashamed and embarrassed. You might have been born and brought up in a poor family. You did not have the clothing that you wanted. You did not have the toys that you wanted, and it made you feel ashamed of yourself. And you might have had a breakup or some kind of problem with any of your relationships that made you feel so ashamed of yourself. Or you might have made a mistake in the past. You might have had an addiction that you never even want to think about. that you're ashamed of yourself for. All the shame energy that is coming up, let's clear and transmute it across all time, dimension, space, and reality, clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and reality, clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. And allow yourself to feel it and just let it go. Take a deep breathe in. Take it in, and as you breathe out, just let it go. Maybe you have huge debt, and anything that relates to money that makes you feel so shameful, so ashamed and embarrassed that you don't have enough money to cover what you want, to get what you want. You might see your neighbors, you might see others having so much wealth and abundance. That might make you feel ashamed of yourself, that you are not able to make that much money. Or you might have debt that makes you feel ashamed that you have accumulated so much debt in your life. Let all that events play, and it could be some critical event in your life. Something to do with court or with cops. Everything that just you don't want to remember about, just let it play once and for all. You're releasing it, removing your attachment from that this very moment. All the shame energy that is coming up, all the embarrassment, all the disgusting feelings. Let's clear and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. I want you to see this beautiful violet flame right in the center of this mandala, spreading throughout this whole healing temple. We are using the fire energy. Fire energy is one of the best energies that clear and transmutes everything. And you can place your hands like this in a triangle form. You can just open your eyes and see quickly how I have it. You can have it right in front of your heart as we are clearing and transmuting all of this right now. Triangle is a symbol of fire. And see yourself in this beautiful violet flame. It is not hot, it is just warm. It's just the right temperature that helps you release all of this. And now, I want you now to replay all of that events in the movie screen, but now you notice the difference. You notice the difference that you don't feel the shame, that you don't feel the embarrassment anymore. And you have now become just the observer of your whole life. Yes, you had this nasty fight with someone. Yes, you had the debt. Yes, all of that happened. So what? Getting into the so what energy. Disassociating yourself from the character that you are playing. And just seeing yourself and observing all of these events in this replay. And see yourself that you don't feel the shame any longer. You don't feel the embarrassment any longer. You have come to the self-realization that it was just a drama, just a movie that you saw, just a movie that you are seeing and you are playing. And now in one of these events that still makes you a little grudging, that still has a little bit emotion tied to it. I'm asking that to be played in your movie screen right now. See what event is that you still have a bit of shame, bit of embarrassment attached to it. And now we are changing. This is one of the major prime events that you have the most emotion attached to. So now we are going to change this past. We are going to change it. Now I want you meaning the soul that you are, the God self which is inside of you. I want you to step into the movie screen as your God self. And I want you to change that event, the event that made you feel so shameful about. You are entering in with so much love and joy and all the magical powers of the God. And you have the power to change it now. And you're changing the event that what happened that made you feel shameful did not happen that way. Instead, it was twisted by this God self that entered into your life, and that event did not even happen. Right before that event happened, the God self of yours entered into it, sending this love, joy, happiness with that energy, with the magical powers. You see, the event did not even happen, and it was changed. The person who was fighting with you came back into the truth of who they are, and they showed compassion to you instead. They did not fight with you. And you split with peace. Or maybe the scene where your teacher scolded, the teacher did not even scold you, instead appreciated you for your hard work. The teacher showed you joy, love, and compassion instead. And now I want you to rerun that event and see the new changed past. And feel the compassion and the joy from it. And now come back to your observer self, observing this movie screen of your life. And being in peace. Next, we are going to work on another energy in this session, which is fear. Fear is one of the major energies that we are experiencing at this time in our earth life as well. So let's clear and transmute the fear. So again, tune into your energy field and look where fear is. It shows itself as a dark, heavy energy. All the fear in your energy field come up, up, up. All the fear that all of us have come up, up, up. I call forth on all the fear energy that is stuck in your energy field and see it expanding as I say it to come up. It just flows up and increasing the intention of this fear. In order to release it, we have to experience it, which is deep within us. So allow it to come. And once and for all, let's clear and transmute it. And now the movie screen. Place all events in your life from when you were in the womb until now. Every way you experienced fear. Fear of money, fear of lack, fear of scarcity. Fear of life, fear of existence, the fear of the coronavirus. Just allow that fear to come and do not fear the fear. love it. And see this beautiful violet flame, and you are completely safe and secure to feel and experience this fear in this violet flame, in this divine presence of the guides and angels around you, with the Creator all around us. And all the emotions that you are feeling right now is being transmuted automatically by them. So step out of your fear and feel the fear. All the fear that you experienced in your childhood, the fear that you might have had for your parents, for your teachers, for your mom or father. When was the first time in your life that you experienced fear? The fear of death, the fear of existence, the fear of animals, fear of someone, something attacking you. And see all of that running, all the events where you experience fear in your life, playing in the movie screen now, all the fear energy and clearing and transmuting across all time, dimension, space and realities. Transmuting it across all time, dimension, space and realities, clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space and realities. See this violet flame just burning off this fear energy, this dark energy, and just transmuting it into light, into the truth. Fear doesn't exist. Fear is just an illusion. And see it all go. All the fear that we have for existence, is that even true? How can we ever, ever, ever die? How can we fear death? Who are you? Who are you? You are an immortal soul. Nothing on this universe, in this universe, can ever destroy you, can ever kill you. Become this immortal self that you are. And see that fear is just an illusion that is present only on earth. There's no truth to it. And any other events, anything else that happened in your life where this fear energy is stuck, see it running in your movie screen, clearing and transmuting all fear energy in this violet flame. We are offering this fear energy to the flame. We are offering it because it has no truth to it. Clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space and realities now. Become the observer, the witness of the drama of your life. And now replay all of these events that came up with fear in you. And see that you don't feel the attachment any longer. You don't feel the fear any longer. Even you laugh at it. You laugh at yourself for experiencing fear, for feeling the fear. And replay all of that events and see there's no emotion attached to it any longer. You are totally non-attached to it. You become the witness. You become the observer of your life. Yes, coronavirus exists, so what? So what? It doesn't even come near you. It doesn't have the power to even come near you. Because you are powerful. And you are this immortal self that you are. Being non-attached to the events that's happening on earth as well. not putting our heads into the drama that's happening out there, being the observer with absolutely no judgments, just witnessing it, just being aware of it. No judgments, no anger, no blame, no fear. See this beautiful violet flame lifting off all of that heavy energy and taking it back to light and transforming it to light. And everything else that you are ready to release at this time in this session, any other emotions, I'm asking all of that to be transmuted, clearing and transmuting it across all time, dimension, space, and realities. Everything, all the blocks, all the heavy energy, all the limiting beliefs, all the limiting points of view, all the beliefs that you had about yourself, everything that you are ready to release at this time as a result of this presentation, as a result of your own life. I'm asking all of that to be cleared and transmuted across all time, dimension, space, and reality, and offering all of that to this violet flame as it takes it up and transmutes it to the truth. And now we are moving into the silent mantra meditation. You can continue holding your hands in the triangle, and all of the violet flame, the healing temple, all of that stays the same. You're being and sitting in this healing temple with the guides and angels. And we all, including the guides and angels and this whole healing temple, will be silent except for the Om mantra that you will hear. And you will hear it within you. And you will hear it echoing all over this healing temple as we tune in and listen to it. And the intention is to let go. Let go of everything that is holding you back from manifesting your dream life, from manifesting the truth of who you are, from living your divine soul purpose that you are here for. And set that intention to let go and to become one with the absolute consciousness, becoming one with the truth. I will repeat the mantra 3 times and I will stay silent for the next 15 minutes. If any thoughts, any emotions, anything that comes up during this 15 minutes, that's completely fine. It's part of the healing process. As the thoughts comes up, just allow it to come up and allow and let it go and tune back into this Om mantra that you keep hearing. Keep hearing the Om mantra throughout this 15 minutes as much as you can. Any thoughts that comes up, do not judge it, just let it go. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om. Take a deep breathe. And we are now slowly moving into the manifestation process. And feel the beautiful bells ringing in the healing temple. And feel this fresh new energy that's coming in, the wind blowing. And feel this beautiful unconditional love just covering us and showering us. And here opens up the movie screen once again, but this time it's not your past, it's your future. You are now ready to manifest your dream life, your future. You are now ready to quantum jump to a new parallel timeline. And here runs the movie. Exactly what you have written to me in the email, and those of you who haven't sent me the email, you will just visualize it now as I speak. And this movie screen is going to show you the life starting from now to 1 week, to 1 month, to 3 months, to 6 months, and 1 year. All of your life for the next 1 year is gonna, the prime events, the major events that's happening in your life is gonna be run in this movie screen, and it starts right now, and it is your dream life. You see how the beautiful life shift has happened, exactly getting you what it is that you wanted in 1 week. See how magically your life has changed, and I want you to be in it, see it, feel the emotions that you sent me. The love, the joy, the excitement, the abundance that's coming into your life and moving into 1 month. See it magically happening, as if miracles are taking place in your life. And you just cannot believe with your human mind how this is all just aligning exactly as how you wanted it to be. And you just cannot believe it. You're jumping with joy and happiness. Finally, you are getting what you wanted in your life. You feel the goosebumps all over you. Moving into the 3 months from now, the clients that you wanted, the house that you wanted, the money and the abundance that you wanted is finally showing up in your bank account, and you can clearly see it, feel it. Ah, feel it. Feel the joy. Feel the happiness. Feel the tears of joy that's running down. And you are now in the 6th month. 6 months from now, manifesting exactly what you wanted is finally happening in front of your eyes. You feel the peace. You feel the joy of living your soul purpose, your divine purpose, the divine reason why you came down here. And it might be to get all these material possessions. There's nothing wrong about having these material possessions that you always wanted, because the divine wants you to have it. It's your divine birthright to just have it. And the Creator wants you to have it. The guides and angels wants you to have it. Because the divine, the God itself is money, is the energy of abundance. That's the truth of this universe. Moving into the 1 year time frame now, 1 year from now, you have finally manifested your dream life. And you can see it happening right in front of your eyes, being there and feeling it. Seeing your dream house, your dream life, your dream car that you wanted. The relationships, the love and joy that exists in your relationships. Feel it. Feel the energy vibrations of it and how it makes you fly up. Living your dream life, how it tastes like, how it smells like, how it feels like. And exactly what you wanted. The divine is supporting you. And the divine made its magic as soon as you allowed it. The miracle just happened. And as you are being in that energy, I'm gonna read some statements that's gonna lock this new timeline for you. You just have to listen and nothing else. This quantum jump is confirmed for you to access the timeline of your intentions safely and effortlessly. I request that the energy released from this quantum jump is the amount that will only give a positive outcome of flow and ease. I allow myself, Vishnupriya, to be a pure, clear conduit and connection to all parallel lifetimes, universes, wormholes, and dimensions to assist you, my clients, who are in this session to progress in your area of your intention. I request access to the healing energy for support in this transition. I request that the most successful parallel lifetime in the area of your intention is safely accessed, aligned, and configured to your current energy matrix, Akashic records, DNA, and soul blueprint. I request balance of all karmic equations have taken place. All opposition energy is removed and cancelled. All sabotage, curses, blocks, or belief systems are dissolved. Confirmation that the relevant genetic sequences are turned off that prevent the parallel timeline of your intention. Confirmation that the relevant genetic sequences are turned off on to produce your intention so you can quantum jump to the parallel timeline of your intention. Confirmation of the successful timeline is now accessed. Confirmation of flow and ease for your desired outcome. You can now repeat these statements in your mind as I read it. I choose to allow the new timeline and parallel universe to be safely aligned for my desired outcome from this time forward. I choose to feel expansive. I choose to love the universe. I choose to receive from the universe. I choose the new parallel timeline for my intention to manifest. I allow and receive all that universal source energy has to offer for freedom, peace, love, and abundance. I choose to maintain my new existing parallel universe from this point forward. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Take a deep breath. And let's allow all of that energies to settle down. I'm now going to count from 10 to 1, and you will be ready to commence your parallel universe for your intention. 10, getting ready to leave and slowly coming back down. 9, feeling the shift, releasing your hands and legs. 8, feeling aligned. 7, preparing for the transition. 6, allowing yourself to receive. 5, taking a deep breath as you now come down into your body. 4, feeling the new connection, feeling the new you. 3, almost there. 2, getting ready to commence. 1, ready to start your new life. Take a deep breath and slowly you can open your eyes. When you're ready, you can just stretch a little bit. Ooh. How are you feeling? Hope you enjoyed it. All right. So lots of love and blessings. Thank you so much. You made my day special. Thank you so much for coming to this. And I hope you really loved it. If at all you want to unmute yourself, you can do that now. We'll be closing the session in 1 minute. Thank you all. Thank you so much for the messages. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll let you go. Sorry for keeping you so long. I hope you don't mind.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. See you all next week. I'm ending the session now. Bye-bye. Take care. Drink lots of water. Give yourself some rest. Thank you. Lots and lots of love. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.